sell hundreds of these every day.
Oh. I'm not surprised. They look delicious.
I am very contented. I am very happy that you called me.
I just think it's important to be honest with each other.
I agree. Communication is key.
I think that's why they want to do that. And the first time I heard that, it was like, oh, that's interesting.
How much for this vegetable today?
They are very fresh, only 20.
Yes, I've reviewed the documents you sent over. I have a few questions about the initial projections and the timeline. Hello, can you hear me? I'm on my way now.
Today I'm going to cook a very simple dish. It's potatoes with some vegetables.
The weight of responsibility hung heavily in the air as the crisis unfolded. The call from James's father had shattered the fragile calm they had all been clinging to. The family company abroad was teetering on the edge of collapse, threatening to dissolve years of hard work and sacrifice. With the fate of the business and countless livelihoods at stake, James was summoned urgently to cross oceans and continents to save what was left. His mother, sensing the severity of the situation, urged him to go without hesitation. She shared her worries openly, expressing how deeply she felt the strain this turmoil placed on the entire family. Despite her own fears, she understood the necessity of James's departure. The company's survival hinged on his presence and leadership. Behind closed doors, plans for a new home stirred a bittersweet hope. James and his mother had recently discussed building a house that would symbolize a fresh start and stability. The vision was clear, a sanctuary rooted in careful thought and love. Yet, the looming crisis cast a shadow over these dreams. The home was a beacon of peace they both desperately needed, but the immediate demands of business tugged James away. Preparations for the journey consumed their thoughts. There was no room for delay. Every hour counted. Amidst the logistical whirlwind, there lingered the bittersweet reality of separation. The uncertain length of time before James could return. The unknown weighed on their hearts, especially on Dieppe, whose life was intertwined with his. This looming departure stirred a complex mix of emotions. James was a man caught between duty and desire, between the demands of a crumbling empire and the love he held close to his heart. The company, a testament to his family's legacy, was now a battleground. Yet, within that turmoil, the connection to home and to Dieppe was a lifeline, a reminder of what truly mattered beyond boardrooms and ledgers. As James prepared to leave, he made silent promises to face every challenge with courage, to return as soon as the storm cleared. His mother, steadfast and strong, stood ready to support Dieppe in his absence, offering a shield of care and guidance. The threads of family and love intertwined tightly, fortifying them against the impending hardships. Even as the world shifted beneath their feet, their focus remained on hope. Hope that the new home would soon be built, a haven where Dieppe could thrive and heal. Hope that James's journey would restore balance and bring prosperity once again. And above all, hope that love would endure the distance and the trials ahead. The night before departure was heavy with unspoken words and quiet resolve. James chose to spend one last evening beside Dieppe, a moment stolen from the relentless march of fate. No grand declarations were needed. The silence spoke volumes. This was their final night together before the uncertainty of the journey. A sacred pause before the storm. In the dim light, surrounded by memories and dreams, they held fast to each other's presence. The house, still unfinished, echoed with the promise of tomorrow. Outside, the world awaited the unfolding drama of a man torn between continents, of a woman steadfast in her waiting, and of a family bound by love and sacrifice. Tomorrow, James would step into the unknown. Tonight, they held on to what they could, to the fragile, fierce hope that love and duty could coexist, that distance could be bridged, and that the home they dreamed of would one day be more than just a vision. The days before James's sudden departure were clouded with a tension so thick it seemed to seep into every corner of their home. Beneath the mundane hum of daily routines, an invisible storm was gathering. The once lively household was now filled with uneasy silences and hurried movements, each member caught in the gravity of what was to come. James himself became a figure both distant and present. His usual warmth was replaced by a restless energy, eyes shadowed with sleepless nights spent wrestling with problems that seemed to multiply by the hour. Business calls interrupted moments meant for rest, and every glance at his phone brought a fresh wave of anxiety. The crisis abroad was unlike anything he had faced before. Two companies on the brink of collapse, an inheritance of struggles passed down from his father, a legacy now hanging by a thread. Despite the weight pressing down on him, James tried to hold onto the fragments of normalcy. Conversations with his mother revealed a mutual concern, their shared love woven through words of worry and hope. She urged him to be strong, to carry the family's hopes with him, but also reminded him to take care of himself. A simple plea that spoke volumes beneath its surface. The mother's role in this unfolding drama was one of steadfast support and quiet sacrifice. With James preparing to leave, she stepped into a more active role. Her days filled with coordinating the care of Dieppe and overseeing the construction of the new home. The house, still a skeletal structure against the sky, symbolized much more than a physical shelter. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to endurance, and a promise of a better future. The construction site became a frequent destination for her, where she would check the progress of the work, speak with builders, and make decisions that ensured the safety and comfort of the future home. Every brick laid and every beam secured carried the silent message that no matter how far James had to go, the family's foundation would remain strong. James, too, found moments of tenderness amid the chaos. In the evenings, when the day's burdens briefly lifted, he would speak with Dieppe. Their conversations layered with unspoken fears and the warmth of shared commitment. He reminded her to be strong, to care for herself, and to lean on the family left behind, his mother and the trusted call. Lean were to be her guardians, the shoulders she could lean on during his absence. Yet, the shadow of uncertainty loomed large. The departure was not simply a business trip, but a plunge into the unknown. James could not predict how long he would be gone, nor the obstacles he might face. The companies were struggling against tides that threatened to overwhelm them, and he was their last hope. Each moment spent apart was weighted with the fear that time might stretch indefinitely, fraying the bonds that tethered him to home. The emotional toll was palpable. For Dieppe, the new house, with its high floors designed to protect against nature's dangers, was both a sanctuary and a reminder of the separation to come. Her strength was tested in these days as she prepared to face solitude with courage tears were held back, not out of denial, but out of fierce determination. James urged her not to show weakness before the world, for tears wasted on strangers or adversaries would be used against her. Their parting was understated but profound. There were no grand declarations, only the quiet gravity of two souls bound by love and the harsh realities of life. They found comfort in small gestures, a touch, a glance, the simple act of sharing a night together before the inevitable dawn. That night, in the dim light of the unfinished house, James and Dieppe held on to the fragile thread of hope. James promised to return as soon as possible, to reclaim not just the company's future, but the life they envisioned together. Dieppe vowed to wait, no matter the length of his absence, to hold the home and the farm safe in his stead. Preparation for the journey was a ritual heavy with significance. James packed carefully, mindful that every item could be a lifeline in the battles ahead. His mother arranged documents and tickets, their hands steady even as hearts trembled. Outside, the world moved on, unaware of the quiet farewell taking place within the walls of a home not yet fully built. As the plane took James away, the weight of expectation and love followed him. The legacy of his family, the hopes of his loved ones, and the fate of the company rested squarely on his shoulders. He faced the future with resolve born of love and duty, ready to fight against the storm, for the company, for Dieppe, and for the promise of home. The empty spaces left behind echoed with the promise of reunion, a home waiting to be finished, a love waiting to be fulfilled, and a man determined to return. The night before James's departure stretched endlessly, heavy with unspoken fears and the weight of impending separation. The unfinished house stood silent, a half-built sanctuary shadowed by the uncertainty that hovered over every heartbeat. Inside, James and Dieppe moved through the motions of togetherness, their actions gentle, yet laden with meaning. Each glance they shared spoke volumes. Words left unsaid echoed in the space between them. James's eyes betrayed the turmoil within. The fierce determination to save his family's legacy battled against the dread of the unknown. Dieppe, though resolute, felt the fragile grip on normality slipping away. Her mind caught between hope and the aching loneliness that awaited. The hours passed with quiet conversations, moments of laughter that masked deeper anxieties, and tender embraces that sought to fortify their spirits. James assured her repeatedly that he would return, that this was but a temporary sacrifice. But beneath his reassurances lurked the truth of a battle he could not guarantee to win. Preparation for the journey became ritualized, every detail scrutinized. James's mother busied herself with paperwork and travel arrangements, her calm exterior hiding the motherly anguish of watching her son face such an uncertain future. Her presence was a steadying force, reminding both James and Dieppe that family would remain their anchor no matter the distance. In the quiet of the night, James reflected on the burden that had fallen upon him, the fragile thread holding together two continents, two families, and the dreams of a future that now seemed so precarious. The companies abroad teetered on the brink, with competitors circling like vultures and debts mounting like a crushing weight. Failure was not an option, yet the path ahead was riddled with unknowns. Meanwhile, back home, Dieppe prepared herself for the solitude that awaited. The new house, with its elevated floors and wide-open spaces, was a fortress against more than just nature's threats. It was a symbol of resilience. She vowed to guard the farm, nurture the land, and uphold the promise of the home they had envisioned together. Despite the harshness of reality, moments of warmth and hope flickered through their days. Messages from friends and family offered encouragement. Cao Lin, entrusted with the day-to-day support of Dieppe, took on his role with quiet dedication, ensuring she never felt completely alone. James's mother balanced her responsibilities with a fierce protectiveness, ever watchful and ready to step in. Yet, the uncertainty gnawed relentlessly. News from abroad trickled in, carrying both hopes and setbacks. The battle to save the companies was arduous. Negotiations tangled with bureaucracy. Competitors exploited every weakness, and the stress threatened to fracture James's resolve. Each update weighed on him like a stone. Each delay a test of endurance. Deep's world was a study in quiet strength. She balanced the demands of running the farm, overseeing construction, and managing household affairs with a grace that masked the loneliness beneath. The nights were hardest, when the silence pressed in and the absence of James was most palpable. Still, she held on to his promise, drawing strength from the memory of his words and the vision of their future together. As weeks turned into months, the distance between them became a chasm both physical and emotional. Communication, once frequent, grew sporadic, each message a precious lifeline, but also a reminder of the growing gulf. James fought battles not only in boardrooms, but within himself, wrestling with doubt, exhaustion, and the gnawing fear that his absence might cost him more than just business. Back home, Dieppe faced challenges that tested her resolve. Unexpected storms threatened the farm's progress. Labor shortages complicated construction, and financial pressures loomed. But she met each obstacle with fierce determination, refusing to let adversity unravel the fragile fabric of their life. The new house began to take shape, rising steadily against the horizon like a beacon of hope. Its sturdy walls and elevated floors stood as testament to their shared dream, a future forged in love and perseverance. Every plank laid, every nail driven, was an act of faith in a tomorrow they would share again. In the quiet moments, Dieppe found solace in the land itself. The gentle rustling of leaves, the steady rhythm of tending crops, and the comforting presence of the farm animals. These simple acts grounded her, a daily reminder that life, though fraught with challenges, continued its slow but steady pulse. Meanwhile, James endured the relentless pace of his mission abroad. Long hours, difficult negotiations, and political complexities tested his patience and resilience. But amid the chaos, his thoughts always returned to home, to Dieppe, to the new house, to the life waiting for him across the ocean. Their love became the anchor that held them steady through the storms. Letters and calls, though few, were treasured moments of connection. Each "I love you" carried the weight of absence. Each promise to return was a lifeline thrown across the vast distance. Finally, after months of struggle and sacrifice, signs of progress began to emerge. Deals closed, debts restructured, and the shadow of collapse began to recede. James' tireless efforts bore fruit, but the cost was clear. He had been stretched to his limits, his spirit worn but unbroken. The day of return drew near, bringing with it a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. Dieppe prepared the farm and the house for his arrival, the once unfinished structure now a home ready to welcome him back. Friends and family gathered, their faces alight with hope and relief. When James finally stepped through the door, the distance and hardship melted away. Their reunion was a silent, powerful affirmation of the love that had sustained them, a testament to endurance, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds of family. Together, they looked toward the future, a future forged through trials, tempered by love, and bright with promise. The journey had been long and difficult, but it had made their bond stronger, their home a true sanctuary, and their hearts united in a shared dream.